Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Revo aka Sickrate. Today I'm gonna be showing you the project of Can You Get To Me that I made together with CLDST. So this is how the track sounds, if you haven't heard it yet. So let's get into it. This project is pretty simple, like there's not much stuff. You can see it's only 78 tracks. Not that much going on, and it's especially 78 tracks because I have like, I don't know, 15 tracks here just taken by the lead that I was chopping up because it was so inconsistent. We will get to that, but let's start from the beginning of the track. Let's start from the chords, I guess. So the main break synth is this. Is this patch in the SRX keyboards from Roland and Dino Early, which CLDST sent to me. It's pretty nice patch. I just have some delay on it. That's the 1/8 dotted, playing the 1/8 dotted notes. And I have some ROM for some reverb, and I'm just cutting up some of the high end, because there was like stuff here that probably no one can hear, but it just doesn't look good on the analyzer, so I just cut it out. And then I have Saturn afterwards because yeah, I probably wanted to get the lows again. I have sub back in. I don't know why I put that one after the pre-Q, but yeah, whatever. And then we have this subtle synth from Linz, which is being low cut. Again, Saturn afterwards, so we get the low end back. And then it's being panned around with Panman with the rhythm shape of 1/2 notes. That's about it for the chords. With the chords, you have a bunch of loops playing. This is the Magnus selection pack, or whatever it's called. This is the first loop. Just some imaging, taming this thing to like this area to like not play as wide. And probably just okay. Boosts here, interesting, and this craziness here, cutting the low end, and then lowering the left side of the signal in this area and boosting the mono side of the signal in this area. You can hear that the kick or something, it's playing very on the left. So I wanted to tame it so it's not as on the left, because it just sounded weird in the mix. Like it's still playing on the left, but it's not as much and it's not as noticeable. Then I have one more loop. This thing that has some transient master on it. I didn't do this processing, probably it was CLDST. And it's routed here to another transient master, and that's routed here. And there's some suit and ROM for some room, and this crazy EQ. Another EQ, and then some sidechain. Yeah, this is another loop that's basically here, another transient master, and it's linked to the same thing as before. But this first loop is not linked there. I don't know why. I think this is all CLDST processing most of it. I just like shaped it afterwards. But yeah, these are the loops playing together. And then I have the break chords. And then we have this drone, which is super simple, and it's again from Linz, shout out to Linz. And yeah, just a low cut, nothing crazy. Then we have this ambience from selected collections. You should check out selected collections if you're making the house. And yeah, I'm just cutting it on like hundreds on hertz to not have any low end. And then we have this pitch bend that's no one will never get, because this pack is probably not gonna go. Actually, I'm thinking maybe I can like include this in SSC3. This atmosphere. Yeah, this is, it's like a pitching atmosphere. that I made in Serum, and some bunch of external effects, and then I have this selected atmosphere that's just being cut. One of my favorite atmospheres that I use in a lot of tracks. And that's pretty much the intro. The only thing that's here is the vocal, which is being played on top. So these are the vocal sounds. Yeah. I think I ran this vocal through like a RX first before I made any of this mixing. I think I like to run it through RX to like declick the vocal, because when you're like recording a vocal, there's a lot of mouth pops and mouth clicks and whatever. So I run it through that to like get rid of that stuff, or like mostly get rid of that stuff, so you don't have the clicks. And then I probably stretched it as well. I don't think this vocal was originally 123 BPM, so I probably stretched it in RX. When I'm stretching vocals, I always go to RX. The Ozone RX is just, Isotope RX is just much, much better when it comes to stretching, especially the high end, like the sibilances and stuff. It's just so much cleaner when you stretch it there instead of FL. Algorithm is just not that great, to be honest. So yeah, it was there, and I made it there, and then this is the processing afterwards, cutting the low end and just taming this area, just a basic gate to get rid of some of the noise. Then you have this compressor from Waves that is great for vocals, because this is like super simple and super easy, and this is the best compressor for vocals in my opinion. Just makes it crisp as hell. It's the CLA 3A from the CLA Classic series. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's super simple. Just makes everything so crispy. I'm using these parameters if you want to copy. And then I'm just boosting the high end a shit ton. Like a lot. Then you have the R compressor, which is a similar compressor to this Resonant X. It's also from Waves, and it's compressing a little bit. Then I have the sibilance stereo from Waves to like ease out the sibilances, or the SS, or whatever you want to call it. Another low cut, and I'm taming this area, the low mid area. And then I have suit for the highs. Without the suit, it's like much smoother the high end. And then I have some from some DS from FabFilter Pro DS, again just easing out the sibilances. And then I have this thing. I always do this on my vocals if I don't have like a doubles for the vocals. So I have only one main take that's playing mono, obviously. Then I always put this, either put this Ozone imager on the vocal, or I put the doubler from Waves, the doubler 4. And what I did here is just like boosting the whole area above 258 hertz with the stereoize algorithm on the first mode, which is the Haas effect. But this Haas effect is like different. It's not fucking up the stuff in mono like at all, or like very little that you probably don't even notice it. So if you want to make something wide, or like not super wide, but like wider, and not being, not having all those weird phasing issues in mono, then use this. It's not gonna fuck up anything in mono. And I'm using the 13.5 milliseconds. I don't know why, but it's quite a lot, but it works. And I'm just boosting the bandwidth by 35. If I turn this off, you'll be able to hear that it's just fully mono. And then you have the effect afterwards. But with this, it just a little bit stereo. It just sounds nicer to the ears, and you can just make the vocal sit in the mix much better when it's not fully mono. So that's something I do in basically any of my tracks when I don't have the doubles. Before everyone is asking, I don't know how the fuck you say it, this vocal is from one of those sites when you can buy vocals for like, I don't know, $50, and it's sold to like 10 people or something, and then no one else gets it or like gets them. You can buy them. CLDST bought them before he sent the track to me. So when I received this thing, the vocals were already here, and basically it was just like multiple parts of the song that are like being cut out because the original structure was different. So yeah, before anyone is asking, you cannot get these vocals anymore. Delay that's being automated, just basic stuff. I'm using this reverb. The low cut is very high, so you have no muddiness in the low mids, and also the high cut is very high, so we don't have any of the top high end that's like just not pleasing to the ears, in my opinion. This is what I do on pretty much every vocal, cutting the highs a lot. Then I have another delay playing the dotted 1/8 notes that's being automated in ROM. Again, cutting the highs not as a high, but cutting the highs not, and another reverb from ROM, which is cut a lot lower. And then some delay again, because 2 delays are not enough, and they are being automated in. And then a final low cut and some taming of the vocal, and some filter for later on, and kickstart, which is the default kickstart on 50%, that's being like automated on in the drop. And yeah, that's pretty much the first part of the song. Then we go here, and we have these two transitions. This is from selected contraction kit, but you can find this in SSC1, I think. Then we have this that you cannot find anywhere, but it's the fill from Sound and Gray, which is like, I don't know, like 3 sweeps, fills, whatever crashes combined. I just exported to use for later. And yeah, then in the next part we have this tremolo ambience coming into the background. Super simple. I am just like taming the high and like cutting everything here, so it's not interfering with anything else in the mix. And this room to put it in some space, because this the whole break is a little bit spacey. Then I have this atmosphere which I use everywhere. It's from Splice, you can get it there. Just cutting the low end and putting some reverb on it. Yeah, I love the atmosphere. You should get it if you have Splice. Then we have the clap here from PML. Just cutting the low end and taming the high end, so it's not so it's fitting to the mix. And yeah, and we have a bunch of stuff here. This is the bass. This pleasant bass from 05. I have no idea what is this. It's this CLDST stuff. But basically what I did to this bass, just a little bit of OTT. I'm boosting the mids to like get some flavor, and just cutting the lows. And I'm cutting the lows because I have copied the preset and just used like a saw wave and made it fully mono, basically. And then I'm just cutting everything above 120 hertz. So basically in the order I probably cut everything below 120. Here I'm cutting everything above 120. So we have like, they sound good together. That's all the magic for the bass, nothing too amazing. And then we have another SRX Roland series stuff. This is the string series. Epic string, I think it's the default page you open the thing on. Again, CLDST, putting this thing in here, and just like acting as like a high string, sustained string throughout some of the sections to like give some, to just put some ambience in the background. And the vocal has like a, the heck happened here? It just vanished. What the fuck? Okay, FL Studio, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, it's the same vocal, but this time it's like there's a manipulator before foreman shifting the thing 5 semitones down, and then it's probably it's the same. I thought I'm pushing it more to the stereo, but it's not being pushed more to the stereo. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this part. Then we go to the build up. Also, we have like this club playing like, and like being put down with this thing. So it acts like a fill a little bit. Then we have this transition from Magnus, this rainforest atmosphere which I love. Then we have this thing. Let me mute the vocals so they don't play this weird delay stuff. And that's just this. It's like the release of the higher note playing here, so, and it's just being looped. Then the sub is now like playing different notes. It's like copying the notes from the drop, and then we have this thing coming in, which is the drop bass, which I will get into in the drop, but pretty much it's being filtered. You see here, it's like being filtered, and I have this in the background. Super simple, basic shapes, bend plus. That's all you need to know. Some chorus, some distortion to make it white. Yeah, Panman, and just cutting the low end, reverb, cutting the low end again probably. We have these the snare fills. This is the selected build-up. Just Transient Master, some Valhalla vintage verb, which is opening, never mind. Yeah, super simple and probably cutting the lows. And then I have this, which is just like 808 snare with Panman, vintage verb, and cutting the lows. Super simple. And the Cola Crash, which is a crash I got from one of the Cola remix from YouTube. And it just has so much flavor, this crash. I use it like in most of my deep house productions. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build up. Then we just have the drop synth that's just being filtered, and let's go to the drop where I will explain the drop synth and the bass. So basically the drop synth, we still have this Magnus stuff, but there's like a different loop here as well. And what I'm doing here with the loop from the intro that had like the kick playing on the left side, I'm duplicating the kick, which I like grab from middle of the sample somewhere, and I'm reversing the polarity. So basically, instead of this, the kick on the left side, the low end, I have this thing there. So I'm like phasing them, like with the reverse polarity, and therefore we are like, you can hear it's like losing that kick on the left side. So it's not like interfering with the main kick of the drop, because like I didn't want to cut this kick at the start, because there's like a shaker or something on top, which is very good, but I didn't want the shaker to lose the shaker, lose the kick. So I did this, at least the trick. Okay, this is the main kick, Magnus kick, which I'm taming. I'm not taming. I thought I'm doing this, but I removed that. So I'm just boosting some stuff in there, and yeah, I think this is the loop from the break. Bunch of Magnus loops. Then I have the same clip that was in the break. I'm just layering with this pre-shifted clip from SSE3, which is being like, I'm just like taming the release like a lot because it was too long, but I love this clip. Once you get this clip in SSE3, it is like the best clip to layer stuff when you want to get attack. So basically without this, and it's like also panning. Then I have this noise, that's being panned with the panman, then just tamed with this EQ, and then I have fire on it, which is like a free distortion plugin you can get. I think that's all the drums. And then we have the vocal playing, and then we have the bass and the synth. So let's get into the synth first. So we have this playing, which is super simple. It's again basic shapes, bend plus, and some noise. The LFO is like linked to the level, so it's playing the 160 notes. I don't have the same LFO playing on the noise because, as you can see, the noise is being pushed up a little bit. It's a little bit louder. When you are making scenes, this is a tip for you guys. If you are making scenes and you have a noise layered on top, if you make the noise a little bit like longer, just like a slight bit, you can see the release is like a slightly longer. It just gets like a little bit of a different flavor, and it's perfect many times to like have that synth, just like especially if you have a synth that doesn't have much high end and you are relying on the noise to have the high end. It's really good to have the noise a little bit longer. Yeah, then there's the synth, which I exported a lot of times and picked the best takes. The main sound is this. But as you can hear, it's like clicking and very inconsistent. So I like exported it a bunch of times. Also exported it like not playing the same rhythm, just playing like one note here. So then I could like grab the synth without losing the release and without the clicking, because when the knobs are overlapping, it was clicking. So I just made the load not overlap and then just like grab the, you see, it's like, yeah, I just played, So instead of I have turn, and then I'm just like exporting it a bunch of times and like putting the first node here and the second node here a bunch of times, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also like lowering the last node here, so if you listen, it's like the last node is not as present, and that's because of I have this here, which is a jewelry preset from selected collections. So let's check the mixing, what I did. Yeah, I didn't put this here, it was CLDST, but it works, the sound equalizer. I think I turned it down a bit. Then I have the Valhalla Vintage Verb, some saturation, boosting the mono signal because it was like really wide, a bit too wide. So I needed some mono signal because it was just being overpowered in mono. So I'm just boosting the mid signal like 2.3 dB. Some delay, this crazy stuff that, yeah, I guess works. And yeah, then just kickstart here. And for the second sound, it's pretty much the same thing on the sound equalizer, I think, and then some OTT, the same Saturn, yeah, Valhalla, delay, this crazy EQ, probably CLDST did this EQ and I just copied it there. And yeah, filter, kickstart, whatever. So these three layered together when they're like exported. Yeah, and here they're just playing much higher, but they were like, I felt like they were not as present in the mix. So I did this. Also, am I like, oh, okay, it's the same. Okay, it's not the same processing. Never mind. Like it's the same processing, like almost the same, but yeah, I'm doing this, which wasn't there. And it's all routed here, which is just located and taming the limits. Yeah, okay. And then this is the Only One synth. If you know my song Only One, then this is the synth from there, which yeah, I just went to the project and exported there. I'm just using some little radiator here to have it. You know, this is a great plugin for adding harmonics, and yeah, that's pretty much the synth. That's like being layered in this part here, and then on this in the second part of the drop we have the synth here as well. It's this one again. Then it's like pitched up an octave with this just really bad FL stretching, but it gets like a nice color by stretching so high. So I just kept it like that. Yeah, some reverb and stuff. And yeah, so like here you have like a call and response. So you have you know, like it's like switching in between the scenes. This one is also like much louder than this one, to like, you know, have it stand out in this part. And it's basically just looping the same notes, I think, throughout the whole second part of the drop here. So those are the synths, and let's go to the bass. And the bass is very simple, very simple. This is the first layer. Bass glass, I don't know what is this sound bank. You are not naming your sounds, my man. I cannot shout you out. Transient master. I don't use this plugin. Every time you see the transient master is CLDST doing stuff. R compressor, little bit of Saturn, little bit of a little radiator, and this crazy EQ. And that's it for this first bass. I don't think it's even sidechained. Yeah, it's not sidechained. Throughout the whole thing, it's not sidechained. Yeah. Another bass. Yeah, it's the same thing, I think. Yeah, it's the same channel, same mixed channel. And then we have the sub, which is being sidechained, but it's not sidechained 100%, as you can see, which is something I try to do in here because I felt like the kick doesn't have as like strong of a low end. And now I think listening to it back, I regret doing this. But yeah, I did it when I was making the track a few months back. So yeah, it's the default sidechain preset, and yeah. R-bass from Waves, amazing if you want to boost your sub. Sometimes it like messes up your sub a lot. This time it worked like a charm. R compressor and Ozone 9 low end focus, also like a great thing if you want to like not just boost your sub with an EQ, but like have some like different color and just make it a little bit stronger. Yeah, just cutting the highs. Yeah, that's the bass. That's all. It's super simple, and yeah. And then we just have this second part where you have the chords from the break coming in. Never mind, it's not from the breaks. Yeah, this is the piano that I think it's the exact same piano that was used in Paralyzed by Yuma and Magnus and Jevels, I think. Yeah, it's an Omnisphere patch. It's the Duo, whatever it is called. And I'm like muting this thing, I think, and it's just playing the keyscape. So you can just go to keyscape, and if you have keyscape, this is the patch. Or maybe it's playing this as well. Yeah, compression, reverb, delay, low cut, and boosting highs. That's all. Kickstart is this piano. These are the chords. Pretty simple. And yeah, there's the string from the break. And is there anything else playing like a synth? I don't think there's a new synth. Bunch of new drums. And this loop, and then these hi-hats. Each are like pretty long, a long release. Yeah, and this weird effect, that was like an impact that I pitched up a lot. Put some stuff on it to like, can barely hear it, but it's like a cool thing. Also I have this percussion that's acting like a layer for the clap, and then this thing. Yeah, just like a percussion with a lot of reverb, nothing too crazy. And yeah, and this on top. Some PML stuff and the empty rain pack that's never coming out. Yeah, pretty much it for the whole drop. Let's go to the bridge. Which is the same thing, just but the atmosphere from the break coming in, the bass is still playing, it's just like filtered and stuff, the drums, and it's pretty cool. We are just leaving out the kick for the first 2 bars, and then it goes to here, which is pretty much the same thing as the first break, but I have this string here, which is like a low string. I wouldn't really call this a string, it's like probably some like analog synth exported or something that's emulating like a string. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Here it's pretty much the same thing as well. And then we just go into the second drop, and we have like a fake drop in the start, which is pretty simple and cool. And it's this fill I used in like a bunch of tracks. It's pretty nice because it has like a really nice attack, and I'm just stemming the release a lot and just cutting the lows and the highs. And then I have this pretty simple sounds. I don't even have effects on them. I just respond and pitch to the right key. And I have sidechain turned off. Yeah, then we have the vocal, and then we have this delay here, which I can show. You can hear all this crazy delay, which is filling up the space here because the vocals are like not playing there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's like just this crash in the end. It's like, with delay and reverb to like end the track smoothly, and we have another like interpretation of the vocal. To like end it nicely. Pretty simple. It's just about just mixing it together right. Yeah, master. Endless smile for the build up. R compressor, just backing it a little bit. It's not doing that much. Yeah. It's like barely any difference, and then I have this MB that's stemming the low end a bit throughout the whole track. Balance for automation, I think is this. No, it's not that. It's like a different automation on top. Yeah, just like in the intro and in the end, so we don't have too much going on. And boosting some high end, and this probably for the automation as well, automated in the build-up or something. And some clipping before it goes to the final limiter to like keep some of the transients. And yeah, limiter with true peak, which I wouldn't do right now if I was making the track, but I didn't know what was true peak all about back then. Yeah, and yeah, span. No one cares about span. Yeah, that's all. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Also, you can message me on Instagram, send me demos, whatever. I will check all of them, or I will try to check all of them. And yeah, that's all. So thank you for watching, everyone. And if you wanna see more videos in the future, make sure to subscribe. Maybe I will upload in 3 months. Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.